integers all the time. Carter Altenberg, all the time. Are you with me? Just looked like you were doing something else. For example, I'm pretty sure you can do 6 plus 7, which is 13. Well, Mr. Book likes to make it a little bit more confusing for you. So they'll use some parentheses and do something like this. They'll say, oh, a positive 6 in parentheses plus a positive 7. Well, that is the exact same thing, because unless there's a sign, if there's no negative sign in front of something, it's positive. So this is still 13. But what we have to consider is what happens if it's a negative. I mean, these are both positive, so it's not a big deal. It's what you've always done from the time you were a grasshopper. But what if it ends up being this? Positive 6 plus a negative 7. Okay, and here's really what you need to think about. Don't let all the goofy stuff that's going on here. You can get rid of the parentheses simply by thinking about this. Okay, first of all, if it's just a plus in front of it, you don't even need the positive there. If there's one of each, if it's got both a positive and negative there, it changes it to negative, and it's just negative. Positive 6 plus a negative 7 is the same thing as just 6 minus 7, which happens to be what? Negative 1. Now, how do you know that? How do you come up with that, Wade? What's your thought process when you came up with 6 minus 7 is negative 1?
7 minus 6 is 1, and then the opposite is negative.
Okay, because there's a bunch of different ways you can think about this, okay? You can think 6 is like having 6, and I will use positive signs. 7 is like having 7 negative signs when you're subtracting. Okay, a positive and negative, whatever, for whatever reason, cross each other out. So this positive crosses off with that negative, this positive 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 with that negative, that positive with that negative, and you're left with just one negative, which is negative 1. We've done things like this before when you did stuff like 75 minus 800. Okay. 75 minus 800 is the same thing as 800 minus 75. Same process to do to get the number, except that the minuses are much bigger than the pluses. You know, you're going to get 725, but because the 800 is the part you're taking away, you end up being in the hole. Another way to think about it is like this. You can use number lines. No. Subtracting goes this way on a number line, adding goes that way. So if you, let's say we had that problem, if you start with 75 and you subtract on 800, you're going backwards 800 jumps. Well, at 75 jumps you get to 0, and anything past 0 is going to give you all negative numbers. So, you know, you get 0 there, now to get to negative 800, it's going to take a negative 725 jumps to get back that way. So let's look at a few more just to see if you kind of get the gist of that. And it doesn't matter where the negative comes. I could do this. A negative 12 plus a positive 6. Again, the parentheses for some of this really don't matter. This is a negative 12. Two positives don't change it to negative, it just stays positive. What is a negative 12 plus 6? Again, you just have to think about this as being 12 negative signs, and this being 6 positive signs. If you cross off 1 for 1, what's the balance going to be? You're going to end up with what, Carter?
Negative 6.
Yeah, negative 6. Because the negatives are bigger than the positives. We don't do subtracting yet, so that'll at least help us out a little bit. Really, children, in math, there's no such thing as subtracting. There's just adding the opposite. 8 minus 7 is the same thing as 8 plus a negative 7. Adding the opposite is the same thing as subtracting. So I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but that's just the way it is. Now, with that being said, children, this is where you really need to focus. Oh,